So looking at the shot at direct sunlight, the Mate 30 Pro does a really good job of just highlighting the buildings. It's a much better image than what the iPhone does. iPhone is nice, but the Mate 30 gives just detailed texture to the image. Though the iPhone just captured the sun a little bit better, but I definitely love the image from the Mate 30 Pro. It's very vibrant and punchy image, but also really clear and sharp. Now when we move over to the wide angle lens, the Mate 30 Pro image is much punchier, but also gives you more detail, and I can see more, and it's going over towards the yellower hue, if you will, while the iPhone is a bit flat in terms of this hue, and also it's darker in certain locations, so I can't see the backyard there. But the iPhone wide angle lens is much wider, gives me a wider berth, but I can't see as much as I like to see. Now moving over to the shots at night, this is using the AI mode of the Mate 30 Pro. The iPhone image is brighter. It is a brighter image than the Mate 30 Pro image, but the Mate 30 Pro I think is sharper, and I can see more details in the background of this image, so the bottles at the back and things like that. But I think both images are good. Now this second image here really shows you the difference in lighting philosophy. iPhone adds a lot of light to this. It feels like there's an extra light source where that candle is, while the candle representation on the Mate 30 Pro is much more to accurate point. And the image, I prefer the image on the Mate 30 Pro because you can still see the color texture of the watch, and also keeps a really nice tone, but the iPhone image is definitely brighter. Here's a shot outside, and I like what the iPhone has done here, a much brighter image as opposed to what the Mate 30 Pro AI mode here has done, where the item in the image here on the iPhone just is brighter. The whole scene is brighter compared to the Mate 30 Pro, which is bright but still feels like you're shooting at night. The iPhone has just more light coming in, or at least it feels like there's more light coming in towards the right, filling up the space. Now this shot here is one interesting shot because this is a really dark scene, and I like what both cameras have done. They highlighted the tree well. They also showed the leaves quite accurately. I do like what the Mate 30 Pro has done with the berries, or at least those things that look like berries anyway, on the trees, highlighting a bit more, and also the fence itself has a bit more texture to it than what the iPhone is doing at this point. Now this is these couple of shots are just showing all the different lenses. This is the main lens on both cameras. The iPhone is moving towards the yellower hue, while the Mate is going towards more of the lighter, or at least the whiter spectrum. And both images are good. There's really nothing wrong. I think this may be a bit more of a preference. I do like what the Mate 30 Pro does because it looks, certain parts of the images, like the buildings in the foreground, look really brighter, and I can see those buildings. I can still see the lighting in there, as opposed to the darker look on the iPhone, and then of course the yellower hue all around the image. Now when we go into the zoom lens, this is a 2x zoom for both devices. Again, same concept. The Mate 30 Pro is making it brighter, so the buildings look brighter, and then the background with the New York skyline also is brighter. It's trying to sharpen that, but it's a little fuzzy. Both of them are trying to do it. I would say the Mate 30 Pro image is better because there's less it's brighter, there's less fuss, and also the images are clearer. Now wide angle lens, this is where Apple completely failed for whatever reason, and there is no night mode in the wide angle lens, but you guys can clearly see here the Mate 30 Pro gives you its wide angle shot, not as wide as the iPhone, but you can clearly see everything in the image. The iPhone shot looks like it's taking a nice shot in darkness and showing you some lights in buildings. If there were no lights in those buildings, we wouldn't see anything in the shot. So the Mate 30 Pro has done a really good job in that image. Now I added the night mode shot here for this, and this is of course this is Manhattan Bridge. We're looking at a couple of images here. The iPhone does a good job in highlighting the bridge. The underneath texture is a bit visible. You can see the lighting across the bridge. Everything looks good. I do like that image. The AI mode on the Mate 30 Pro I think is much sharper than the iPhone's. You can see the ripple effects of the water. You can also see the lighting on the bridge, but underneath the bridge is not as visible. It's actually rather dark compared to the iPhone. I do like the night skyscape on the AI mode here. Now the night mode I think is the best image of all three on the Mate 30 Pro. it's much brighter in all scenes. So underneath the bridge is clearly visible. You can see all the lighting across the bridge as well. You can see the ripple effects in the water is not as intense as the AI mode, but I think this image really captures the most of all three. But again, really solid images altogether, and I'm impressed with what the iPhone has been doing with this night mode. Now we have a photo here of Uncle Danny, and he's standing here. This scene was actually was dark. I would say it's pretty dark in general, and as you can see with each image here, they've all brightened the scene up, so you can clearly see Danny standing out there. You can see his shoes, they come out well. The iPhone is going over towards the yellower hue, so what you have here is that Danny's skin tone has a little bit more saturation, and the leaves also have more saturation to them, while the Mate 30 Pro is going to merge to the whiter hue, so it's a little bit more flat in terms of color. And the Mate 30 Pro night mode really brightens up the scene. If you look around Danny's legs, in the iPhone it's a bit darker. You can see the shadow kind of cuts in through. The AI mode is a little bit brighter, and the Mate 30 Pro night mode is the brightest and really highlights. So you can see the different stages of each image and what they do with actually lighting. But I'm quite impressed. I think all three do a good job, and you will not be remiss by using any one. I think the night mode on the Mate 30 Pro is a little bit better, but it's still quite solid images across the board. So we're recording here 4K 60. Again, the same pattern, similar, and you're walking. And you can see it's different between color saturation, stabilization, of course, and what both cameras do. And of course, audio is switching between two, and then we're going to run. Not what like Saf didn't like y'all. Sorry, buddy. Now we're going to run. Yeah. So that was a run, guys. Three, two, one.